is a new top 10 from Olivia Dean, a returning Twice song, and Keery, a threat to Bruno Mars, is number 1. Today we count down the top 10 on the JNC Hot Songs chart for the week of March 1st. Olivia Dean hits another top 10 with Nice to Each Other.
We could be nice to each other, nice to each other.
Gabriela is down to 9.
Hands up, Gabriela, Gabriela, hands up, Gabriela.
Strategy re-enters at its number 8 peak.
Got you on my radar, soon you're gonna be with me. My strategy.
Okay, so Olivia Dean grabs another top 10 with Nice to Each Other. That's her third top 10 in JNC Hot Songs. Had another, most of its points are coming from streams. Obviously, it's not really big on the radio considering that the song is like, I don't know, 7-8 months old, I guess. But yeah, it's nice to see Nice to Each Other holding up, and we'll see if it has a long chart run since it has a high number of points already. So yeah. And then at number 9, KATSEYE, Gabriela. Like I mentioned last week, its time is starting to run up, as you know, streams and radio are falling. And yeah. Plus, I wonder if the hiatus of Manon might have an impact on it, because people are quote unquote boycotting KATSEYE and not streaming their songs, unfollowing their social medias and all that until she comes back. So yeah, that might be playing an impact as to why the streams are falling. I mean, to be honest, I've not really streamed Gabriela that much this past week, so yeah, that might be an impact. Plus, yeah, I mentioned the radio play, which has also been strong for a while too. They're starting to, I don't know, pull the song out of the radio and something like that. So yeah. And then at number 8, we got Twice and Strategy re-entering. So yeah, Twice, they performed Strategy on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. So that's why it's back in the chart. That's not the only time that a song has been impacted by a Jimmy Fallon performance. We had HUNTR with Golden in October. That's what carried it to 1,000 points that tracking week. And that week is still the week where it has the most points in any singular week in JNC Hot Songs history. But the point system was different then. So, can any song, hit 1,000 points with the new point system? I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. We'll see if Strategy can extend its chart run, because it had 17 weeks before it went recurrent. Now we fixed our recurrent rules, so it's back on the chart, and it can stay until it's eligible to go recurrent, which is past the 20-week mark. So yeah, obviously, let's go reveal our new recurrent rules first. So fall below the number 30 position. By the way, yeah, it's now a top 40 chart. So yeah, fall below number 30 after spending 20 weeks on the chart, it goes recurrent. Fall below number 25 and spend 25 weeks on the chart, it goes recurrent. Fall below number 20 and spending 30 weeks on the chart, it goes recurrent. And then fall below number 15 and spending 35 weeks on the chart, it goes recurrent. Now, songs gaining below these markers, like gaining in points, like compared from the last week to, like, let's say the week after, then they can stay on the chart. So yeah, now enough of that, let's go continue the countdown with numbers 7 through 4. Opalite is down to 7.
But now the sky is Opalite. Oh.
Golden also drops to number 6.
Up with our voices. Gonna get you so on there. Gonna be golden.
Olivia Dean brings So Easy to Fall in Love back into the top 5.
I make it so easy to fall in love.
Her Man I Need remains at number 4.
I gotta know you're meant to be the man I need.
Alright, so Taylor Swift's Opalite down to number 7. It had a streaming drop and a couple of radio drops too. So yeah, that's why it decreased in, what was it, over 10% in performance from last week. So yeah, seems like Opalite is starting to go down already after its big push from last week. So yeah, we'll see if it can rebound, but things are not looking good for Opalite. And then HUNTR is Golden, down to number 6. Numbers 6 through 2, they are in the late week projections. They were separated by a slim margin. So yeah, Golden was initially projected to be number 2, I think. So yeah, so seeing it down to number 6, I guess the other 4 songs, they just had a last second bigger gains than Golden. So yeah. And then at number 5, Olivia Dean, her second song in the top 10, So Easy to Fall in Love. Back in the top 5, its last time in the top 5 was when Olivia Dean won that Best New Artist at the Grammys during that Grammys week. So yeah, So Easy is gaining a lot of radio, so we'll be hearing it more on the radio and it'll be gaining more points. So yeah, that's gonna be big time for So Easy and its chances for contending for number 1. So yeah, and then Olivia Dean again, Man I Need, is still at number 4, same position from last week. Now I will say this, on our JNC music charts, So Easy to Fall in Love outstreams Man I Need, but Man I Need has more radio play, hence why it usually stays ahead, but only by a small margin. And the same kind of applies to any streaming platform charts, because So Easy and Man I Need, they're separated by like 300,000 streams. So yeah, if So Easy had Man I Need's radio numbers, then it can be a contender for number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, we'll say in April or May. So yeah, we'll see if So Easy to Fall in Love can avenge Man I Need after Man I Need got blocked from number 1 a couple of times. So yeah, but we'll have to wait till April and May. We'll also see if So Easy can hit number 1 on the JNC Hot Songs chart too. So now, let's get into our top 3 on this week's JNC Hot Songs chart. Beautiful Things is up to 3.
These beautiful things that I've got, please stay.
As Joe Keery hits a new high at number 2.
I wake up back to the end of beginning.
So keeping the top spot for a 3rd week is Bruno Mars, I Just Might.
I just might make her my baby. I just might make her my baby. Hey.
Okay, so Benson Boone's Beautiful Things bounces back to number 3. Another streaming increase again. So yeah, I told you last week, streams can go up or down for that song at any given moment. So yeah, so that's why Beautiful Things is up to number 3 again. And then how about Joe's End of Beginning climbing to number 2? Now obviously earlier this year, had a big time streaming spark because of the finale of Stranger Things. Although they did not play End of Beginning in that finale, I guess Stranger Things fans, they were just interested in Joe Keery's music, and they found End of Beginning and and they were like, I think I'm in love with this song. So that's why I had another wave of fame, another streaming surge. So yeah, this streaming surge is different. Doesn't correlate to Stranger Things and all that, but rather a personal preference. I love End of Beginning. So yeah, streaming it more, hearing it on the radio more. Yeah, radio play is going up for End of Beginning again. So yeah, that's why it's up to number 2 this week. And then keeping the top spot again for a 3rd non-consecutive week is Bruno Mars, I Just Might. So yeah, right as the Romantic, which came out yesterday or last night actually. So yeah, so I Just Might had a 12% increase from last week, mainly because of streaming hype before the Romantic came out. Now it's out, so yeah, we'll see how that plays onto the chart next week. Because obviously Bruno Mars' first solo project in 10 years, so there's gonna be a lot of hype about it, and I listened to it last night. Great album. A lot of great songs, you know. So yeah, so we'll see how that impacts the chart next week. But we're also gonna be seeing how another certain release can challenge Bruno, like BLACKPINK and Deadline. We might see Jump into the top 10, no pun intended. Jump, by the way, debuts at number 37 on this week's JNC Hot Songs chart. Just a little spoiler before we update the charts on Sunday, obviously. We give those every now and then, so yeah. And then we'll see if their new single, Go, can also challenge for a top 10 debut. But yeah, next week, it's gonna be a bunch of Bruno Mars and maybe a little bit of BLACKPINK, you know? So yeah, next week's chart is gonna be interesting. We got Bruno and BLACKPINK takeover. Then the week after, you have Harry Styles. So yeah, these charts are getting real shaky. So yeah, thanks for watching this episode of the JNC Music Show. It's JC. See you guys later.